The Goldwater Institute is like an architect for public policy. You wouldn't build a house without a good blueprint, and we provide those blueprints with research and recommendations for good policies to build a great future for the state of Arizona.
People need leadership for the reason that ideas tend to float out disparately and without organization. And if there aren't a few people who go to the trouble of providing that leadership, training, and communication, then things don't get done. Providing that leadership and inspiration is exactly what Barry Goldwater set out to do.
The Goldwater Institute is literally one of the preeminent institutions in America fostering and pushing and doing research on free market economics.
I think that there is no other think tank that has turned so many good ideas into actual law as the Goldwater Institute has.
Even with the income tax cut, the revenue to these cities will still increase by 50% over the next few years.
We're a little too close to Las Vegas, which is the convention center capital of the world. And if this was really going to be a moneymaker, private investors would have picked up on that a long time ago.
Goldwater Institute President Darcy Olson says in 2 minutes, the state government has spent enough to buy a fully loaded Cadillac Escalade.
This year, Goldwater provided the blueprint for several school choice plans that, congratulations, were adopted in Arizona. A corporate scholarship tuition tax credit, vouchers for students with disabilities, a higher education voucher, and the nation's first Students in the Foster Care System voucher. Now, I don't profess to know which of any of those might be absolutely the right thing to do, but we've got 50 states and thousands of school districts. Can't we experiment so competition can sort out the good from the bad and the good from the very good? Your plans will allow that process to begin.
Each student is looked at individually, and it's sort of a whatever it takes for this student.
I saw this as a great chance to, be able to focus on my academics in such a more improved setting than various other public high schools in the area.
The average amount spent on each student in Arizona is between $8,000 and $8,500.
The problem with our schools is not that they don't have enough resources. It's a myth. The problem is the resources that we do have are not being used well.
So here's this parent nowhere to turn. Now they can go to a scholarship organization.
Why not get this minimum wage up and up now?
Right. Well, opinion polls certainly show most people favor an increase in the minimum wage. The problem is that the price of increasing the minimum wage is we lose jobs.
Well, one of the big victories that we as conservatives have had this year was the tax cut that was passed in Arizona, and they reduced the income tax rates in a way that I think will make Arizona even more competitive. And you've really got to tip your hat to the Goldwater Institute for making the intellectual case for a very pro-growth tax cut.
You're able to fund essential government programs and lower taxes. That's a tremendous value to the economy.
Well, taxes literally disincentivize people to work. People don't work to pay taxes. They work to get what they can after tax. So therefore, you want a low-rate, flat tax so you provide the least disruption to the economy in order to get the requisite revenues. That's the whole argument for a flat tax, and it's a correct argument, and it's the right way to go.
When you look at people who are trying to develop their property in ways that they have a right to do, and government comes in and takes that away, there's a good reason why the bureaucrats and a lot of special interest groups oppose this initiative, because they've had a free ride for too long.
If you're a small business and your payroll goes up 30%, you might have to cut back on the number of employees you have.
I really want to also salute the donors and contributors to the Goldwater Institute that make this vital institution possible, because if it weren't for those contributions, there really wouldn't be a conservative voice in Phoenix to fight the big government liberals.
You know, a lot of people believe in our freedoms, but there are very few people who are willing to step up and invest in them. And our donors are those people, and they know that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And they are with us, win, lose, or draw.
The Goldwater Institute has done an enormous amount to bring enthusiasm to local levels so that people can actually accomplish reformations.
And it's just hard to think what the state would be like if it didn't have organizations like Goldwater fighting a lonely but a very important battle for freedom and liberty.